Well, good morning, everyone. Jessica Coulter here, and I think we've got technology figured out this morning, so thank you for your patience and understanding yesterday. So today is the third day of the math study workshop. So far we have talked about some strategies to use for the entire kind of overall math homework, math tests, just everything I think you could use or your child could use to be successful in math class. And yesterday we eventually talked about ratio, so I posted that pre-recorded PowerPoint for you all about ratio. So I'm so sorry we couldn't do that live like I hope we are successfully doing today. And I've got my computer here, so we're trying to stream from the computer for the phone through another service to Facebook. So that way I can use a PowerPoint and show you some slides. So that is the plan for today, is to go through coordinate planes and plotting. So I figure no matter what grade you are, what grade your child is in, that is something that is super important, super kind of helpful to have forever. Because once you know the basics of plotting, then you're able to go into like slope intercept form, point slope form, all those different kind of fun things, and then you're able to do kind of those fun worksheets that a lot of teachers will do if there's some downtime or a substitute or something like that. Those images that are kind of hidden on the coordinate plane. So I want to make sure you guys have all of that information down. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my computer. There might be a little bit of a lag, so if you don't see it right away, don't get worried. But what you should see is something that has my logo for Ace Cookie Tutoring. Because I'm assuming we all know by now, but my name is Jessica Coulter, and I'm the hostess of the group that we're in right now. So we are going to go over to the computer here, and hopefully all goes well. So guys, what do you see? Are you seeing it? If you are, great. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to just jump over here real quick. Make sure it's working. Looks like it is. I love it. So here we go. Now in case you need it, my contact information is on the slide. So we've got my phone number, which is 913-938-6344. And then there's also my website there, acecookietutoring.com. So feel free to check that out if you want. I'm trying to post all sorts of information in both the group, on my website, and on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to have as much information as many places for you as possible. But let's go ahead and move on and talk about how to graph on a coordinate plane. So here we go. If you are confused and you're wondering what I'm talking about, here is a coordinate plane. Okay, we're going to go into some more details here in just a second, so bear with me. The first thing I want you to notice are the two axes. So we've got those X's and those Y's. So let's talk about that here. So like I said, two axes, or if you want to say there's an axis for the Y, there's an axis for the X. So the Y-axis is that vertical one. And the way I always remember it, I know this might seem kind of silly, but this is what works for me, is to go Yolanda climbed a tree. So I remember Yolanda because it starts with a Y, so that's the Y-axis, and then climbed a tree because she went up or she went down. Okay, so vertical. Whereas we've got the X-axis, which is horizontal. So that means side to side. So if you need to, after the video, go back and look and see the two different axes. And then for the X, I remember Xavier, he went for a walk. So you would walk left to right, you would not walk up and down. And then the very last thing here, not an axis, but another word you or your child will hear is origin. So origin is always 0, and it's in the center. Okay, so again, I am going to pull up another coordinate plane here. Okay, so hopefully you see we've got the X, we've got the Y, and then there, the very, very center is that 0, the origin. Okay, now on this slide, I want to talk about quadrants. Okay, so how many of us have heard of quadrants? Go ahead and give me a thumbs up or say yes in the comments if you would, if you have heard of quadrants. Now the reason I point this out is that depending on where you or your child is at, you might be asked what point is in quadrant 1, or you might be given some coordinates and you need to figure out, okay, which quadrant is it in. Now, I hope you noticed that the signs of X and Y are different in each of the quadrants, and then I also hope you noticed that the quadrants are labeled in kind of a funny order. It's counterclockwise, okay? So that's all I really want to say about quadrants. I just want to make sure you knew they were a thing, and then I wanted to, just give you some ideas of what kind of homework or test questions to expect. So now, before we get going too much further, I know it's the last day of our little math study challenge, but I want to let you know that I would love to schedule a lesson with you or your child. So that is kind of why I'm here. I mean, I'm here in the group to give you guys as much free help as possible, but I also want you to know that if you need some actual one-on-one help, or if there's enough of us now in the group, if you wanted to create some kind of study group amongst yourselves, and then I could work with you guys in small groups. So whatever your interest might be, I do have availability on my website, acecookie-tutoring.com/book online. You can go there, choose your date, choose your time. I do have some regular students, so I need to start blocking out those times more efficiently, but definitely give me a call if you have some questions. Go to that website and, book a lesson. Would love to help you guys out. So if you're interested in a lesson, you maybe want some more information first, definitely feel free in the comments to say me, or even just send me a message once we're done with the video. Alright guys, let's go back to our coordinate planes. So here we go. So we've talked about the different axes, and now we've talked about the origin, and now let's actually look at plotting some points. So here we go. So we have the X and Y axis, and then we also have coordinates that are going to be called X and Y. So the X coordinate, can you guess, is it on the X axis or the Y axis? Those of you, are you ready? Those of you that said X axis, that is correct. So X axis, X coordinate, Y axis, Y coordinate. Now, something really, really important I want you to notice is that the order of our coordinates is always X, Y. Okay? It's never Y, X. So if you heard me, put that in the comments. X, Y, and never Y, X. Okay? Now, the way we're going to plot a point, we're going to do this on the next slide, so just bear with me. But what you're going to do is you're going to find your x-axis, and then you're going to find your coordinate, your x-coordinate, and you're going to do that by moving left or right on that x-axis. And once you find your x-axis and your x-coordinate, then you go ahead and plot your y. So you just move up or down from your point on the x-axis. So here we go. Here is an example problem for you. So on this one, we have a single quadrant. So that means I have one box, okay? And I have a whole bunch of points. And I have some problems here, some questions. And it says, tell what point is located at each ordered pair. So I'm not going to do all of these with you. Just wanted to kind of put this whole problem, whole scenario into the slideshow, because that would be part of your homework, is to do another 5 of these on your own between problems 1 and 2. And I'll also post the worksheets that these came from, just so you guys have even more practice if you'd like. And I'll do that for the ratio problems too. I know I haven't done that yet since we were having so many issues with yesterday. But anyway, here we go. We're going to look at 1 and 2. So if you have a guess as to question number 1.3, 4, what is the letter or the point that's at number 1? I'll wait just a second. Put whatever letter you think it is. Take a second, look at the slide, leave me a comment. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. At number 1, answer should be the letter I. So I is at 3, 4. So you go to that x-axis, so the horizontal line, you find the 3, and then you go up to 4. So here we go. We're going to go to number 2 at A, A is at 3, 8. Okay? So this is a lot easier because it's only single quadrant. So all you have to do is make sure you find your X first and then your Y. And, it's a lot harder to screw up these problems. So let's look at a more difficult problem. So this problem, number 2, if you look at it, it's got 4 quadrants. Okay, so this is also called the full coordinate plane. Now on this one, what they want us to do is they want us to tell them what coordinates certain points are at. So I just did 2 different points. I did P and I did Y. So again, I'll give you a few seconds to decide what are the coordinates of P. So again, feel free to leave that in the comments for me if you're watching. So for P, what are the coordinates? So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The coordinates of P are 9, -5. Okay? So I went to P is how I personally did this problem. And I saw that it was in that bottom white quadrant. And if you remember from earlier in the presentation, that's quadrant number 4. Okay, so I knew I was going to have a negative number, so I knew I had to make sure I paid attention to my signs. So I found the 9, the positive 9, on the x-axis. So I knew that was my first coordinate. And then I went down to P. And so since I went down, I knew I was going to be negative. And this is just a kind of quick little rule for you. If you go down or you go left on a coordinate plane, there's a good chance you're going to be getting negative. Okay, just depending on where you start. If you start from 0 and you go left or down, you'll always be negative. Okay, now let's look at Y. So Y is at -8, 6. Those are the coordinates of Y. So we had to find our point on the x-axis. So we had to go for a walk with Mr. Xavier, and then we had to climb a tree with Miss Yolanda to find the y coordinate. Okay, so those are the 2 problems I wanted to go over with you guys. So I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm glad that you watched. I'm glad that you participated in the math study workshop. So I do hope that you'll take the time to do the homework assignments. So there's 1 for each night, and I need you to do all 3 in order to qualify for the drawing for the free lesson. So I know a whole bunch of you watch the videos. That's awesome. Now I just want you to take that next step and kind of help yourselves, help your child, or your children, by doing the homework and getting some actual practice. Because I try to pick skills that are needed forever. Not just those weird little skills you learn and go, why did I have to bother learning that? These were things I tried to pick that would be useful forever. So again, guys, if you would like to book a lesson, would love to help you out. There's that link again, takes you right to my website. And again, one-on-one, online, in person, small groups, whatever works best for you. I do actually have a special going on right now. It's through the end of October, and it's going to be to save $15 off. So depending on what kind of lessons you choose, how many, that determines the rate. So the more lessons you choose, you can have a 10-lesson bundle that's only $45 per lesson, which is pretty awesome. And you'd save $15 off your first lesson. So definitely a great way to stay ahead. If you have a problem with a certain subject, or you just know that you've got more than one kiddo and maybe you want to spread out those lessons amongst your family, that's okay. Now, do also know that I have my email list. So those of you that are newer to the group, I changed the rules and I'm requiring you to give me your email address. So I thank you for that. And those of you that have been in the group with my original set of rules, do know that I do send out my monthly newsletter as well as some offers that are specific to my email club. So make sure you send me an email at acecookie-tutoring@gmail.com and get on that email list. And finally, we are on Facebook right now, but I do have a channel on YouTube. So this is kind of a long, hairy URL or a web address, but definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel in case you're not on Facebook very often or in case you're as addicted to YouTube as I am. So that way, whenever I post a video to YouTube, you'll get a notification as long as you turn on your notifications. And I hope that's something you've done in the group too, is you've turned on your notifications just so you know what the latest and greatest is from myself and my company, Ace Cookie Tutoring. So guys, that's everything I've got for you. So I so appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being in the group. And make sure you turn in your homework by tomorrow, Monday, 11:59 p.m. Central Time. That way I can hopefully give away at least one free lesson, if not more. Depends on how many people take the time to participate. And again, if you have questions, feel free to post them on any of the videos. You're welcome to post in the group itself. I'm just doing my best to keep the homework questions, in that one thread, as well as, keeping everything only about education. Okay? So you guys have a great day, a great weekend, and just know I'm here to help. Thanks, guys. You have a great one. I'm going to go ahead and kill it off. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it. There we go. Bye, everyone.